Hello, welcome back. My review of the Big Screen Beyond 2 was quite well received. I thought it's about time to review this. The Pimax Crystal Super. Let's do it. So first of all, comfort. It's a big old beast. It can be quite comfortable if you can get it in the right position. Most of the time you don't. You have to clamp it quite hard. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable headset in the world, and it's heavy. So if you're not after a heavy headset, look elsewhere. The materials, I mean, they're not top notch, but they're not cheap crap. You know, they're not cheap plastics. I've got the silk interface now that I got because I pre-ordered it. That's nicer than the original. It's much nicer against the face. The problem I have is because the IPD is so small on this headset. I'm usually a 62.5. In here it's 58. The lenses are really close together, so as it starts to slide down, it pinches your nose. That can be quite uncomfortable. The speakers, though, the sound is very good, top notch. I don't think I've really heard any better sound from any other headset. Yeah, the only problem I have with it, of course, if you looked at my video about when this broke, which is on my channel, it still broke. Pimax are apparently sending me a new Halo unit with some screws, which I'm not a fan of the word screws, but we'll see how that goes. And just to add, these are the DMAS speakers. I haven't really used it with the standard ones, so I really couldn't comment, but you know, a lot of people say they're a bit ropey, so take what you will from that. So the lenses, there are right old chonky boys. They're glass aspheric lenses. The sweet spot's massive. You know, you can get right in there. You know, your IPD can be way off and it can still look okay. Looking around, everything looks pretty clear right to the edges. I mean, it gets a bit blurry towards the edges, but nothing you'd ever notice. The panels, you know, they're nice high res, but there is Mura. So, you know, if you don't like Mura, then look elsewhere, because you can see it. When I'm racing, I don't really notice it. If you look up in the sky, you'll notice it. You know, on a plain background, you'll see it. So for flight simulation, it might be pretty bad. But yeah, the lenses are pretty good. You do see chromatic aberrations in it. Depends on the game. Some games are worse than others. But the latest Pimax Play update, the chromatic aberrations look a lot less. So they may still be working on the profiles for that. So it may get better. So the resolution is 3840 by 3840 per eye, and it's mammoth. You need a mega PC to run it at its best. But it does look stunning when it's up at high resolutions. Field of view, I think 108 to 110 degrees, so it's quite wide. I mean, it does, you know, do you really notice it that much? I mean, like if you're like I do sim racing, so if you can see like the left mirror, like on a normal headset, you can see the right pillar, but in this you can see past the right pillar and you can see the other mirror. So you get a little bit more peripheral vision, but it's, you know, it's not a game-changing size, but it's just nice to have. Refresh rates, you can run this at 72 or 90 hertz. I mean, you can only really run it at 90 hertz if you're playing an older game like the original Assetto Corsa. Newer games, you struggle to run it at 72 hertz. You know, you have to lower the resolution. So some people are more susceptible to lower refresh rates. I mean, I'm fine with 72 hertz. So yeah, your mileage may vary where that's concerned. Onto the tracking. The tracking's not bad. I've had worse. It's not as good as the Quest 3, but inside-out tracking, it's getting better, I suppose. You know, when you first start to move, there's a tiny slight bit of lag, and then it goes. So tracking on the headset is fine, it's adequate, does the job. Tracking on the controllers, I don't really use controllers, so I wouldn't really know. I couldn't really say. You know, they feel all right. They're nothing special. The plastic's good enough quality. It doesn't feel cheap, but then it doesn't feel premium. So yeah, the tracking's fine. Onto the software. Pimax Play is the software you have to download for this to work. It's not bad software. It works quite well. There's a lot of options. You can tinker around to your heart's content. The only problem I have with it is when you put the headset on, you go into like this alien world, and it's like, that's a bit random, just like some random alien world. It's like, why don't you just show the desktop as standard? You can show the desktop, but you've got to get your controller, press the button, show desktop, and then you've got to do that twice, because you do it first and then it just disappears, and then you do it again and then it comes up. It's like, well, it'd be a lot easier if you just showed the desktop as standard. It's very simple. A lot of headsets do that as standard, and then you don't have to keep taking the headset on and off. So price wise, it's not cheap. I think I paid around about £1,400-1,500 for it, but then I did pre-order it, and so yeah, it's an expensive headset, but it looks inside the headset. I've got a 5090 and it runs it pretty good in most games, and when you can get it up to its like peak resolution, which is about 6,200 by 6,200, something like that, it looks phenomenal. It really does. There's no glare. It's just let down by the weight. That's all for me. I think if it looked like it does in here, and it was the size of the big screen beyond, then that would be the headset. You'd never need another one. That'd be the end of it. So but you do get controllers with that for the money. So it's not, for a high-end headset with these panels, it's not that bad. There are other, what they call optical engines, which is like, this is like a cassette. You can like use these little clips here and it pulls out, and you can change them. This is the 50 ppd. You can get a 57 ppd, an ultra wide, and I think an OLED one. I may invest in the OLED one. It depends how Pimax sort out this Halo unit, because it's still broken. I'm not going to spend another £1,000 on another unit when I've got a headset that's still broken. So if you want to see a video about why this is broken, there's a video on my channel called Pimax Customer Services, I think. That'll give you the whole rundown from how it went wrong and how Pimax are dealing with it. So when you're spending this type of money, hopefully you won't have any problems. If you do, it's going to be a slow process. So to sum up, if you want the best looking visuals in any VR headset and you've got the power to run it, the Pimax Crystal Super is your friend. If you don't have a 5090 GPU, you're going to struggle to run it at its native res, and then it kind of looks a bit ropey. When you start lowering the res, for me anyway, it does. You get a lot of aliasing, and because the panels are big, so the pixels are quite large. If you've got a lower end PC, you're probably better off going with one of the lower res headsets. But overall, I like racing in it. I just wish it was a bit lighter, a bit more comfortable. But the visuals, there's no argument. For me, it's the best I've ever seen. So if that's what you want, and you don't mind a heavy headset, go for it. So there we have it. Thanks for watching my review of the Pimax Crystal Super. If you like this kind of content, give me a like and a subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.